Today at Manchester Theatres, it is my absolute pleasure to be joined by the brilliant James Bisp, who is getting ready to come to the Palace Theatre in Manchester from the 27th of July in the phenomenon that is Rocky Horror. Now, we in Rocky Horror circles have come to know James as Brad Majors, but he has done so many other shows. We're talking School of Rock, Spamalot, Phantom, Beauty and the Beast, Wizard of Oz, Joseph, even performed for the Queen's 80th birthday celebrations. So, James, thank you so much for chatting to little old me after all that lot. But we
Cool. You make me feel old. That's like my whole career. I was like, oh gosh, yes.
I don't know, right? So you're coming back to Manchester. Well, the show's coming back to Manchester, Rocky Horror. And I love chatting with people in this show and saying to them, how do you explain this story to people? Because it kind of sounds like you're making it up as you go along, right? It's so bonkers. So how would you describe it to someone who's not seen it?
I mean, it's utterly bonkers. It's basically the wild and wonderful mind of Richard O'Brien, who is a very eccentric, wonderful creative. But I mean, essentially, in a nutshell, the story is of Brad and Janet, two sort of squeaky clean, all-American sweethearts. Their car breaks down on a stormy night, and they go and seek help at this mysterious castle they see in the distance. And then, unbeknownst to them, they find themselves in this wild, outrageous world of Dr Frank-n-Furter. He's a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania, and then a whole crazy cast of characters come into play as well. It's kind of a kind of tribute to mid 20th century like sci-fi and B horror movies. Very camp and fabulous. It's with a great soundtrack of rock and roll music,
Yes.
Real glam rock energy. So it's a bit of everything for anybody. Yes, the story is wild and crazy, as were those sort of B horror movies and sci-fi movies of the era. But you know, essentially, just come along and just take it all in, because you're guaranteed a good night, even if you're confused of what's going on.
Absolutely. I love taking people who've never seen it before and just watching them. It's a brilliant experience.
Oh, me too. That's the best thing on stage as well, as an actor, sort of just looking out at seeing these kind of, you know, a real mix of obviously the regulars and the sort of hardcore fans that are like, yeah, that number, and other people are like, what? Who is this guy that's just come out of a fridge? You know? But the best thing is just sort of seeing them as the show sort of progresses, and then by the end of the show, they're up on their feet and they're letting their hair down, and it's just electric, and it's so contagious. This show, it's
absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've said you are playing Brad Majors, who, I mean, I've got to say, there's poor Brad. There's like 3 different versions of him. There's Brad at the beginning, who's all sweet and innocent. There's Brad in the middle, and then there's Brad at the end. Give us a little overview of his rocky life cycle.
Oh, well, so as I say, he is like the classic all-American guy with very American values. You know, at the start of the show, he's very nervous about making a proposal to Janet, and he has to do it in the right way. And they've just come in from their friend's wedding, and I think that probably sparks him to like, I need to ask Janet to marry me as well. You know, but he's very he has very strong values in the way things should be, and he's very proper, or maybe he thinks he is. Yeah. And obviously then when he meets Frank-n-Furter, maybe there's this sort of naughty side to him that was sort of oppressed, shall we say, that is kind of opened up. And then by the end of it, you know, yeah, he's seen a lot and learned a lot. And yeah, I think whilst desperately trying to cling on to those American values at the same time, but, you know, his eyes are open, shall we say.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely opened. And yeah. And then I think in a way it makes his relationship with Janet perhaps stronger, because he realizes how much he loves her.
Yeah.
You know, and how important that relationship is.
Yes. If they can get through that, they can get through anything, right?
Well, exactly. Hey, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have this message of kind of authenticity and acceptance running throughout it. We see that with so many of the different characters. You've named one, Frank-n-Furter. It just so happens that his authentic self is about corrupting people.
Yes.
Little bit. So with Brad and Janet then, are they kind of enlightened? Are they kind of like innocent victims who have been robbed of like a like sense, or how would you describe what happens to them?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they are kind of. I don't like to think that they've been robbed of the sort of their innocence.
No, that's
I feel
probably
like they've had their eyes open
yeah,
and realize things about themselves as well, about like how they can't be this sort of prim, proper, boring couple. Well, but I guess they were happy. I know they were happy, but you need life experience, I think,
choices now,
right?
don't they? Yeah,
Before you settle down with that, that forever person.
yes.
And I think they get certainly a taster of that life experience in Frank-n-Furter's
They do.
castle.
They do.
People often say to me like they are still together at the end, and there is this wonderful moment of Janet sort of forgiving Brad at the end, for both for their behavior, really.
Yeah.
They both sort of stray down the wrong path. The temptation gets the better of them, should we say? But I think by the end of it, they come together, and it is that message of acceptance wrapped up in a nutshell at the end.
Yeah.
Which is what the whole message of the show is, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was going to ask you about the ending. Not the ending. The ending that's not been written yet. So, if you could kind of look 5-10 years into the future of Brad, do you think he would be happily married with Janet? Would he have married Ralph? Who knows? Would he have become a Transylvanian demon hunter? Like, what do you think his future would look like?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Richard O'Brien has in mind here, but I don't know. I mean, I think, as I say, I think once you've kind of tasted that forbidden fruit, maybe you realize that it wasn't the perfect relationship with Janet. I don't know. I mean, I love to think that they stick together, but maybe it has opened up that kind of explorative side of him, and I mean, obviously the show itself is kind of set in the 50s era. So, obviously that is an area, very much oppression and all that kind of thing. But I like to think if Brad was now, it would be, let's just get out there and see what's in the world.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I think, he would always want to be the true gentleman, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just with a bit of sprinkle on top.
Exactly.
So what was it like then for you? This is a show like no other. So the first time you get on stage to perform Rocky, as much as you think you're prepared, are you prepared?
No. Wow. Well, so I mean, obviously you'll be aware, having seen the show before, of the audience participation, and the audience very much are part of the show. And particularly the regulars that have been coming for years and years and years, a real hardcore fan base of this, a real sense of community, fantastic. Like, we see the same faces back, week after week. Some of them came to Europe and to New Zealand. It's a real, and everybody's welcoming this Phantom family. Phantom family. That's the wrong show. Sorry, Rocky Horror. Yeah, no, that's what my brain was doing. Yeah. The Phantom, the Rocky Horror family. But I've just distracted myself. What was the question again?
It's quite all right. Like, are you ever prepared for that first show?
No, right, yeah. So first show, obviously I was new to this show. So I joined last September. Obviously we're pre-warned of the shout outs. We'd seen the show to kind of experience it, but it's until you're actually on stage, certainly in those early weeks of the show, when you're still, getting comfortable with the role yourself. You really have to keep one ear on the audience. You're obviously concentrating on what you're doing, and the blocking and the dancing and the singing and the timing of the comedy and stuff. But at the same time, you have to have that little ear on the audience in case those shout outs happen. And the shout outs are fantastic when they're perfectly timed and really done really clearly and loudly and proudly. Then that's when they work the best. Yeah. And they do. They really. I mean, Richard O'Brien would not say this. He didn't write the shout outs, right? They're not an official part of the show. So they are not the show that Richard O'Brien wrote. So without the shout outs, the show is absolutely brilliant, perfect. But sometimes the shout outs do add that extra little bit of humor, kind of like a knowing humor with the audience, as long as they're done well. Yes. I have a real love for them when they're perfect, but when it's a rowdy Saturday night and people start shouting any old thing, it's got to be to do with the show, hasn't it? Yeah. So I would say, people watching, when you come and see the show in Manchester, if you know the shout outs, do them loud and proud on cue. But otherwise, just if you don't know the shout outs, just sit back and enjoy, and just listen, because that's where the fun happens.
That's where it happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally then, I think this show has got a unique place in musical theatre history, in that there's kind of, we've said the audience stuff, but I can't think of another show where the cast actively encourage the audience to stand up and join in the dance. But not only that, everyone in the audience, whether you've seen that show or not, knows the dance. Of course, I'm talking about Time Warp.
Time Warp at a wedding.
Yeah. Everyone knows it.
Yeah, and what's great about this show is it's not that we're encouraging them; it just happens.
Well,
you can't help it. As soon as you recognise those songs, you're up on your feet, and the music is fantastic. We've got the most amazing band on this tour, literally the best band that you could possibly come and watch playing on a touring musical, or any musical really. You just can't help but get up on the feet, and it's the audience participation is the only show where the audience becomes part of the show. With the shout outs, the dance and the time walks, they join in with all the classic moments. The people that know the film, they know the script, and there's certain lines of certain characters like Magenta and Columbia, that the joy that you see when that part of the script is being delivered by the actor on stage, and they join in, they can't help but shout it out. But I think the important thing is but if you're new to the show, don't worry. You can absolutely just sit back and enjoy it, and that's all part of the experience. You can be a spectator, or you can be part of the spectacle. You're invited to join the chaos if you want to.
Absolutely.
But it's and that's why it's been running for 35 years. This is the longest running contemporary musical in theatre history. So this is longer than Les Mis, Phantom, Cats. This was written in 1973 by Richard O'Brien as just wanting to do something a bit different, a small run in a kind of pub theatre in London, and here we are 35 years later, and it's great seeing new generations, parents bringing their kids to see the show, especially in the world that we're living in, with it's just don't dream it, be it. That's the motto of the show.
There we go.
And that's what's so great about seeing parents bringing new generations to see the show. It's a show for everybody, and it's a really important show in that respect, especially in the world that we're living in at the moment, and just pure escapism as well. It's 2 hours of you can just completely kind of switch off, forget about what anyone else is thinking. As soon as you see people dancing around in suspenders and stilettos around you, big burly blokes from Manchester with a pint in their hand, you feel comfortable. Everybody's welcome, and you'll have a great time. So and it's just, I've just realized I've grinned the whole way through this interview, because just listening to hear you talk about the show is like me going, oh yes, I remember when that and this and that. I've been going to it for years on it, as it's been coming, and I am so excited to come and watch it again. So we can't wait to have you there, and it's our last venue, so it's your last chance to see this amazing cast on this
absolutely
tour. So can't wait.
Thank you,
Palace.
Palace Theatre, 27th of July, with James and an incredible cast. Come along and watch it. It's the one show I can guarantee you are not going to be disappointed.
It's astounding. Time is fleeting. Madness takes its toll. But listen closely. Not so very much longer. I've got to
Dr. Scott! Bread!
Janet!
Rocky! Dr. Scott! Bread!
Janet!
Rocky!